Hey everyone, welcome back to Yash Talks Cinema, where we dive deep into stories that stir emotions, spark imagination, and remind us of the beautiful connection between humanity and nature. Today we're exploring a heartfelt and visually stunning film, The Boy and the Octopus 2024, a story that blends wonder, environmental awareness, and emotional depth into one unforgettable cinematic experience. The movie currently holds an IMDb rating of 6.5 out of 10, and though it may not have the hype of a major blockbuster, it delivers something far more precious, a story that touches the heart and awakens our sense of empathy for the world beneath the waves. The film takes us into the life of Elias, a 12-year-old boy growing up in a small coastal town. He's quiet, curious, and deeply connected to the ocean that surrounds his home. Every day, Elias spends hours near the rocky shores, collecting shells, watching crabs, and diving into the shallow reefs. The sea is his playground, his escape, and his teacher. But behind his fascination lies something deeper. Elias is still grieving the loss of his father, a marine biologist who disappeared at sea a year earlier. His mother, Mara, struggles to keep their family together while dealing with her own sorrow. Together, they're caught between moving on and holding on to memories of the past. One morning, while exploring a hidden cove, Elias discovers something extraordinary, a small, injured octopus tangled in a piece of fishing net. Instead of swimming away in fear, he carefully frees the creature and watches it glide away into the water. Over the next few days, something magical begins to happen. The octopus returns. Slowly, an unlikely friendship forms between the boy and the creature. Elias begins visiting the cove daily, feeding the octopus bits of crab, playing with it through gestures and movements, and even talking to it as if it were a person. What starts as curiosity becomes a bond, a silent understanding between two beings from different worlds who share the same loneliness. The octopus, with its shimmering colors and graceful movements, becomes a symbol of both life and mystery. The film doesn't use heavy-handed dialogue to explain their connection. Instead, it lets the visuals and music tell the story. Through underwater cinematography that feels almost meditative, we see how Elias learns patience, compassion, and respect for the ocean's delicate balance. The sound design, soft currents, echoing whale calls, distant seagulls, draws you into Elias's world, making you feel the rhythm of the sea the same way he does. As the bond grows stronger, Elias begins to notice changes around his coastal home. A large development company plans to build a luxury resort, something that threatens the coral reef and marine life that depend on it. The locals are divided. Some see it as an opportunity, while others, like Mara, fear the irreversible damage it could cause. For Elias, it's not just a construction project. It's a threat to his friend, the octopus, and the world his father loved so deeply. His journey becomes one of courage and purpose, a boy standing up for something larger than himself. What makes The Boy and the Octopus so captivating isn't just the beauty of its imagery, but the quiet power of its storytelling. It doesn't rush. It lets you breathe in the world it creates. You can almost smell the salt in the air, feel the sand beneath your feet, and sense the awe of the deep blue. There are moments when Elias dives underwater, and for a brief second, you forget the difference between the boy and the sea creature. They move in harmony, two forms of life sharing the same rhythm of existence. Those scenes speak more about connection and coexistence than any dialogue ever could. At its heart, this movie is about healing, the healing that comes from understanding nature, from finding friendship in unexpected places, and from realizing that even in loss, there can be beauty. The octopus, in many ways, becomes a reflection of Elias's father, intelligent, mysterious, and ever-present. Through his connection with the creature, Elias begins to understand his father's love for the ocean. He learns that love, like the sea, doesn't disappear. It changes form, but it's always there if you look deep enough. The emotional tone of the film gradually builds from curiosity to tension and then to something profoundly moving. As Elias tries to protect the reef and his octopus friend, he faces obstacles not just from developers, but also from his own fear of letting go. His mother, Mara, too, has to rediscover her strength, realizing that her son's connection to the sea might be the very thing that saves them both from drowning in grief. Their evolving relationship adds another emotional layer, one between mother and child, loss and hope, nature and nurture. The movie also subtly comments on environmental awareness. Without preaching, it makes you reflect on how easily human progress can disrupt the balance of life in the ocean. The octopus's world, full of color, movement, and fragile harmony, becomes a living metaphor for what's at stake when Elias stands up to protect it. We're reminded of the importance of empathy, not just toward people, but toward the planet itself. It's a coming-of-age story, yes, but one that goes beyond childhood and speaks to the soul of anyone who has ever felt a deep connection to nature. One of the film's most beautiful aspects is how it portrays silence. There are long stretches where no one speaks, just the sound of waves and distant echoes of life underwater. You feel the film's heartbeat. It's not about action or spectacle. It's about emotion, about the quiet strength that comes from listening to the ocean, to others, and to yourself. Elias's performance, played by a young newcomer, is filled with sincerity and innocence. He doesn't overact. He simply is. His eyes carry the wonder and pain of someone growing up too soon, and his friendship with the octopus feels utterly real. Visually, The Boy and the Octopus is stunning. The underwater shots are breathtaking, a dance of light and color that captures the mysterious beauty of marine life. Each scene feels hand-painted with emotion, from the glowing corals to the shimmering ink clouds left behind by the octopus. The cinematography reminds you why the ocean has always been a source of fascination and fear. It's vast, unpredictable, and alive. The score, composed with gentle strings and ambient tones, flows perfectly with the visuals. It doesn't overpower. It accompanies the story like a tide, rising and falling with every moment of tension and calm. By the final act, the movie brings everything together in a way that feels both emotional and uplifting. Elias's bond with the octopus becomes more than friendship. It becomes a lesson in love, loss, and courage. Without giving away the ending, I can tell you it's one of those rare conclusions that feels both heartbreaking and hopeful at the same time. You'll walk away feeling that the story wasn't just about a boy and an octopus. It was about humanity's fragile relationship with nature and how even the smallest act of kindness can ripple into something much larger. The Boy and the Octopus isn't a loud movie, but it's a powerful one. It reminds us that wonder still exists, that friendship can transcend species, and that healing can come from the most unexpected places. It's a film that invites you to pause, breathe, and feel, to look at the ocean not as something distant, but as something alive, something we're deeply connected to. And maybe like Elias, to remember that love, whether for per se a place or the planet, is worth protecting even when it feels impossible. So if you're looking for a film that combines beauty, emotion, and meaning, one that takes you on a quiet yet powerful journey beneath the waves, The Boy and the Octopus is a movie you shouldn't miss. It's not about spectacle or speed. It's about soul. And sometimes that's what makes a movie truly special. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow movie lovers, and subscribe to Yash Talks Cinema for more heartfelt reviews and cinematic journeys that explore the emotion behind every frame. Because some stories aren't just meant to be watched, they're meant to be felt.